A former Beloit teacher accused of sexual misconduct with multiple former students was in Rock County Court this afternoon, where he entered a plea of not guilty. Andre DeCoke faces 2 charges of child enticement as well as sexual assault of a student by school staff. The 61-year-old was a teacher and coach of multiple sports at Beloit Memorial High School for over 30 years. He retired in 2021. DeCoke's bond was set at $500,000 back in November. But last month, there was a motion to modify that number. He will be back in court April 2nd.